All right, a fellow astronomer wanted a closer look at the shutter mechanism. I'm currently shooting flats right now. Nice clear blue sky. But let's take a look at how dome's going by itself. You gotta watch your fingers. Let's take a look at how the shutter mechanism works. So it's driven by one motor. There's a DC motor that drives a long screw. It's got a windlass up there, and when the screw turns one way, cable winds out on one direction and pulls in the other direction. When it turns the other way, vice versa. And it's got a series of rollers that go through channels, or the rollers run the cable through these channels. Yeah, this is their older design, the Home Dome. One of the original designs, and it uses channels. The newer ones have like hangers with rollers and a lot less friction. It's a lot easier on the motors, and this whole assembly is better in the newer ones. This is an older model, but it's still working, so I'm not going to bother replacing it. But anyways, yeah, you can see on the front of the shutter there, you've got two sets of cables. One comes up from one cable comes up from under the shutter and goes around those rollers that'll be on the bottom here. Well, I'll just start it up and you can watch it go. But first, we'll talk. It's loud, so I'll do the talking first. Yeah, the cable comes down this channel, goes around this roller. These are the ones that close the shutter, and then back up, and then around those bottom rollers, then back down the other side around this roller, and then it's tethered right here with a big spring that keeps tension on it. I actually put much bigger, longer springs on there because the tiny ones it came with weren't adequate. They were stretching out too much, not keeping tension on it. But I will go ahead and close the shutter. And it's got to rotate until those contacts touch these pads here. And you can see as soon as they get on the pads, where is it going? Where is it going? Okay, it was still slaved to the telescope, so it was, when it stopped the move, it tried to automatically move it back to in front of the telescope. There we go. Now you can see that spinning that screw, and it's pulling in on this side of the cable, so that runs down here, back up around, and then around the front of that shutter. On those rollers. And then once it hits the magnetic reed switch, it flips that relay and stops the motor from traveling any further. But yeah, that's how the shutter works. And then, the opposite is true for when it opens. Okay, just in case that wasn't clear enough, we'll try to draw a diagram here. This is the shutter. This is the windlass. One cable comes out, goes down and around a set of rollers, comes back up and is anchored here. The other cable comes out, goes down and up around a set of rollers like this, and is anchored here or whatever. So when it pulls one cable in, it lets the other one out, and then in the other direction it moves the other way. So hopefully that clears up how the shutter mechanism works. Mine does. I don't think it's a very good system. I'm probably going to engineer like a bike chain thing, because these cables, man, if that tension spring goes too slack, it jams really bad. So I mean, it's kind of a mess sometimes, but this is the way mine works. So I hope that helps.